We have been through it all, the struggle, the loss of lives, and imprisonment that followed. The independence victory vindicates our tragic effort on 28 February.
28 February 1948, what happened is, we as servicemen have sent several petitions to the governor of the Gold Coast for employment of the ex-servicemen in the government services and other places, but all failed. Because of this, we organized to send the petition direct to the governor in the castle. So we were planning to march that afternoon, 1 p.m. All of us should meet at the polo ground, the old polo ground. Well, it's now in Nkrumah statue or something. There we all, over 10,000 of the ex-servicemen. We're all very, very young. That I was 33 years. And we meet our executive officers and we start the march straight to the castle. Before we reach where the arch is, we see a police passing with truck, a contingent of police with European among them. That was one line here, one of the road, not two. And then we're also coming through here. From there, they surround the crossers over here. And they stop us. As soon as they put their hand to stop, then one Emily, the commissioner among them, he was the only commissioner, take a pistol from his pocket. He ordered to shoot all of us, but they refused. Some put their gun up, some put their gun in another way, but he himself took the pistol to shoot, straight direct to us. It was Ajete first was he is leading. I'm on the third floor. We have first, second, and so on. We march by platoons. You see, in this, when we see Ajete has died, Atipo too died, and Udate Lamte, we plan to damage the whole British goods in this country. Because we have the experience from the war we went. From there, straight we go to Art Center to damage their food, their plates, everything, and throw everything away. From there, we went to Ice Company. Only Europeans were supplied with ice and other things. We damaged the whole machines there. Then to Kingsway. Kingsway, we throw, the grass there is about 1¾ inch. We went to House Buys to get these, our fufu sticks, to damage the whole Kingsway and throw everything in the room outside, with the account books, everything. They train us, and because of the we must act, and we act proper, which cost them very, very heavily. All Europeans run away to airport to stay. We hear they ring for Nigeria troops to come and guard them. You see, we do our best that we can do to help the country.
Showers of blessings will come to us only to the extent that we're able to work together, to toil together, and to laugh together.
At long last, the battle has ended. And thus, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
How did this affect the Ghanaian?
The independence struggle affected everybody. It was a national effort. All the big men, we used to call big men I knew in my time, were involved. And as you know, eventually, after the riots, which followed the 28th of February shooting incident, the Big Six were arrested, including Dr. Dankwa, William Ufurata, Akufo-Addo, and Kwame Nkrumah himself. The United Front, unfortunately, got split, and you had the Nkrumah broke away and formed the Gold Coast Convention People's Party, which led the country to independence.
Huge numbers which recall the year 1957, when Ghana showed Africa and the world that our people were ready to be the masters of their own destiny. Today we march and proudly salute Akufo-Addo the President, who has guided us on the path to success and happiness. Day Parade, which celebrates the 8th anniversary of our march towards freedom and prosperity.
He represented the new aspirations and of Ghana and the younger people who felt more at home. He articulated their ambitions and hopes.
Osagyefo's style of leadership engulfed the electorate. The CPP soon became the major party in Ghana. He won 3 successive elections in 1951, 1954, and 1956 to demonstrate he was the man to lead the country to independence.
After independence, we all got excited because Nkrumah was a dreamer and he affected most of us young men with his dream. But he was not an idle dreamer. He also, he was a strategist.
Kwame Nkrumah and the CPP adopted effective strategies to outwit the opposition parties. They identified with the vulnerable groups, commonly referred to as the veranda boys. Election campaigns were organized in every part of the country with promises from political leaders. As voting day grew nearer, activities by party leaders and candidates became more active as leaders and candidates tried to win more votes. However, the CPP again swept the votes to form the government of the day.
He wanted Ghana to be the metropolis of science and technology for all Africa. And as you know, he thought the independence of Ghana was meaningless unless it was linked with the total liberation of Africa. Therefore, he sought to assist non-independent African countries to liberate themselves.
For the President of Ghana, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, this is the realization of another stage on the heroic road to a new life for all Africa. Just as it should be, there's a traditional Ghanaian libation. Now, it's his deep-felt pleasure to be welcomed by his old friend, the Emperor Haile Selassie.
I remember him talking to late President Masemba Deba of Congo-Brazzaville. He said, "My brother, come. As for Ghana, I've finished. My aim now is for Africa, to liberate Africa and bring real independence to Africa and to unite all Africa."
Dr. Nkrumah, sorry, Ghana mo from Bose, Africa, Africa, yes, then Africa, Dr. Nkrumah, sorry, Ghana mo from Bose, Africa, Africa, yes, then Africa.
Years ago, there were only 8 independent states. Today, there are as many as 32. The wings of freedom have spread far and wide. But now the challenge of unity is heard again. National freedom is not enough. Africa must unite. This spells unity, African unity.
Unite, we must. Without necessarily sacrificing our sovereignties, big or small, we can here and now forge a political union based on defense, foreign affairs and diplomacy, on a common citizenship, an African currency, an African monetary zone, and an African central bank. masses of our people are crying for unity. It is the only salvation. The people of Africa call for the breaking down of the boundaries that keep us apart. They demand an end to the border disputes between sister African states, disputes that arise out of the artificial barriers raised by colonialism. If we in Africa can achieve this example of a continent knit together in common policy and common purpose, we shall have made the finest possible contribution to that peace for which all men and women test today, and which will lift once and forever the deepening shadow of global destruction from mankind. Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands unto God. Africa must unite.
When he comes to the office early in the morning, he had notes about what should be done. The first bit related to African affairs. Then much later, he turned to Ghanaian affairs. And then in the afternoons, he dealt with party and other matters. He was very well organized.
Urged the whole world at the United Nations to accept and recognize that Africa must be free and united. As he leaves the airport to join his fellow leaders, the Osagyefo's high ideal for Africa moves towards realization.
We were very proud. We thought we believed we were as good as anybody else. Ghanaians went around with their heads very high in Europe, America, and everywhere.
This glory, however, came to an end on 24 February 1966, when Dr. Nkrumah was toppled.
And it will be illegal for anybody to belong to it. Kwame Nkrumah and all his ministers are dismissed from office. The myth surrounding Kwame Nkrumah has been broken today.
Commissions of inquiry after the coup did not find anything adverse about Nkrumah. He was not corrupt. So far as I know, he had no property.
So here we were, over 5 million eligible voters being asked to vote of our own free will for an executive president and 140 parliamentarians for the National Assembly. On the eve of the polls, 6 political parties were ready for honors. There was the Third Force Party, led by Dr. John Wilson, the Action Congress Party, led by Colonel Frank Belasco, and the People's National Party, led by Dr. Hilali Mark. To complete the list were Alhaji Ibrahim Muhammad's Social Democratic Front, the United National Convention led by Mr. William Mukuriata, and the Popular Front Party led by Mr. Victor Ousu. Each of the party leaders a candidate for the presidency. In addition, 4 independent runners were in the presidential race: Mr. Mark Diamond Nyadi, Mr. Kwame Nyante, Alhaji Imoru Ayana, and Dr. R.P. Bafo. What plans had some of these leaders for the electorate?
Then Liman came. He also, again, unfortunately, it was a very short regime, but he also tried to set the economy right. There were talks about what to do with the economy, including even realignment of the currency, and so on.
As president of the Third Republic of Ghana, Dr. Hila Liman tried to rebuild Ghana's image with sister African countries.
Unfortunately, there were divisions within the government, which were natural, because Achampon had been against this devaluation. That was one of the reasons why he took power. And many people, many of the old CPP did not like the idea of devaluation. PNDC came. They also had to find some time to find their feet, and they thought of certain measures which they tried to implement. For example, prices were to be kept low and so on. There was hullabaloo when I increased the price of milk from 80 pesos to 3 cedis a tin, ideal milk. And now I don't know, it's about 90 or so.
The PNDC then went to IMF for assistance to recover the economy.
Most of the people who supported the new regime had great expectations, and they did not expect prices to go up or certain measures to be taken. It took some time. Then later on, it was quite clear that we had to go to the IMF and take certain measures, and the government courageously took that path.
In 1992, Ghanaians again decided to go back to the ballot box.
In preparation for the presidential and parliamentary elections, some political parties have been holding congresses to elect their presidential candidates. At the National Delegates Congress of the New Patriotic Party, 2,000 delegates, 10 from each region, met to choose a flag bearer from among 6 contestants. The delegates were called constituency by constituency to cast their votes. For 2 whole hours, delegates were kept in a suspense. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for.
Mr. Akufo-Addo had 1,034.
I've been touched by the confidence you have reposed in me by giving me your mandate to be the flag bearer of this great party of ours.
Another political party, the Eagle Party, also held a delegates congress to elect a leader.
Somebody who is dynamic, somebody who is young, who is beautiful, who can do the rest.
By acclamation, the 50 delegates present returned President J.J. Rawlings unopposed as its presidential candidate. In the last elections, the Eagle Party went into electoral alliance with the ruling National Democratic Congress.
Mr. President is your nominee for the presidential contest for 96.
Mr. Uraku Amofa, Deputy Minister of Tourism. The ruling National Democratic Congress, NDC, also held a rally at which they were addressed by the leader of the party, President J.J. Rawlings.
assure you that this party is going to grow from strength to strength.
Victory for democracy, victory for our independence, and victory for all Ghanaians. As our gallant soldiers march on this day of inaugurating a new president, the independence of the Ghanaian is being preserved and protected. The presence of leaders of sister nations give meaning to Ghanaians linking their independence with other sister nations. General Sani Abacha of Nigeria was there to grace the occasion. As was said by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of the First Republic, the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it's linked to the total liberation of Africa.
That should I, at any time,
break this oath of office.
Break this oath of office.
I shall submit myself.
I shall submit myself.
To the laws of the Republic of Ghana.
To the laws of the Republic of Ghana.
And suffer the penalty for it.
And suffer the penalty for it.
So help me God.
So help me God.
We as servicemen stayed in our position, many. You see, recently, the president tried all his best to give the ex-servicemen who have been from 39 to 45 pension, about from 1980, which we are enjoying now. But it still is very small. It pays very, very little. You see, we must enjoy something small. Remain few of us.
Our dreams, our hopes, and aspiration is being realized gradually. We have not fully got what we want. We have not fully got what we want. For instance, our pension was not on, but it was the present President, General Rawlings, President Rawlings, who gave this first step of the pension. And we are still requesting for more in order to get to the actual position of the pension we require. Because we fought for the entire country. We didn't fight for any other person. And if we had not gone there, the enemy could have come here. And that was why we're having blackout in this country during the war. And that was why SS Sankara was sunk here at the port, at the seaport here. It means the war was coming here gradually. So it was good for us to go there and stop the war. And we stopped the war, we came back, we didn't find what we really, the compensation which we deserve, until the present government tried, and they are still trying to compensate us. So we're still waiting.
Ma, be obaje ne ke bi mi den che ngona jibe ya laje ya ko ni je gane no ya laje e ja gona cha ke je ya go je me pen benin te je me no yo la ka he ko kwa na ni no mbombi mu je gane no mi dia na ni ngbe ne a cha ke ma fa sha gbe ne e hwo wo me ni wo te ni wa tu ni wo ba e hwo wo da anwani sana afi wo no afi no ku pa no wo na ku wo ka yi o kele akwa ele wo bi ko ngame ona me ni ba roen fe ne beja wanyemi jeje rolls men ba gin ba president kan bi ne fe mo ni baba nkruma bene aba mo le wote o sha fort wote wa je le je me ba mo le ge jo fa o sha fort ka ba ni iba domo sipende ti bi no ke ye forward and don CPB station ka be mo ni pene ba ni le ni ha wona mi chef yi ni jeje rollins le page mo ni e bu awo ni ha wona wo da nwa fifi ni ke o pa ke ne ke kun afi awon kun na ani bune me ni huni ke wote ye na ke wote ni agbegbe me kun abi kaji na ka ma fi o kun no ni wo fe ye bi na wo fe kun ngene shi ni wo do mo ni kaji wo fe na ka kun be ne fe ayi wo no lolo
Private Odate Lamte GC 36764 Private Odate Lamte GC 36764 Private Odate Lamte Assessor GC 80193 Private JP Aite. Yes, sir. 163285 Sergeant Joseph Quay. Yes, sir. GC 28681 Corporal Atipo. Yes, sir. 8 Sergeant CF Akepe. GC 36698 Sergeant Akepe. GC 36698 Sergeant CF Akepe. Assessor.
In the memory of the fallen heroes, this cenotaph was built. This is how we remember Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte, the gallant soldiers who fell on 28 February 1948, leading to our independence on the 6th of March 1957.
May the souls of all departed veterans rest in peace. Amen.
So
Whatever you na tabia de kutami. If you gonna buy sabi adwuma kwa adwuma na tin ya bre intrasia ni mbika na de bre. Na tabia me no me ye me pa.
Mini general manager e was our company. Ene ma trotro dodo ene intrasia dodo nti. Tabia heba mixture ene tabia heba castles. And
I'm in London, I'm actually in Edmonton, and I would like to tell you all about Tabia herbal mixture for the loss of appetite, and if you have fever for malaria, can also help you there. I would definitely recommend it. Thank you.
Tabia herbal mixture. Usunumbi.
La